You all can look. Okay, jump over to my YouTube right quick. I'm live now. Mm. Just go to Crack 40 TV and come to find where it says I'm live. I'm sorry. It is Crack 40 TV. Uh, we're live on YouTube, on the phone, we're on TikTok. So there, y'all can look if they come on panel. Wait, y'all are looking backwards. Hang on. Okay. All right, if they come on panel, I'll fix it to where y'all can see. So, Sean, I need you to come in chat and type in chat. Yeah, Gavin hit a deer earlier, bro. Nephew, Gavin hit a deer. Let me jump off here to send this stream to people, and I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I'm pausing it. All right, let me share this to Paul. Let me share this to Sean. Let me share it to Sean now. Let's see. Text. One of these days. Mm. All right, back to TikTok. You don't stop. I said TikTok. You don't stop. Yeah, he's okay. Him and my brother was going down the road, and they had a big old argument over edging. And hang on. They was talking about edging, and they got all tensed up, wasn't paying attention, just pulled out from the crib, and they drilled a deer. And the deer, my brother had to remove it from the road. They called the authorities. The authorities flew up there. Shout out Cowboy Jones. Shout out, I got you, Sean. Shout out Cowboy Jones and the state police and everybody that come up there, but it didn't even hurt Gavin's Jeep. Click this link, Sean, and then follow the steps and type your name in. And when you come on, and if you are, if you've got the TV on watching on any other devices, mute every device that you're watching on and cut the comments on. Cut and mute your other devices besides whichever one you're talking in. That way it don't echo. Pal, I got to tell him that too. Hold up. Back to TikTok. You don't stop. Pal is, yeah, you're here, pal. Okay, pal. Now you got to click this link right here. And when you click on it, it's going to take you, just sign in with your email, your Google, just sign in with your Google, do what it says, type a name in and come on panel. It's very simple. Just have every other device that you're watching on muted, or it'll echo. Not the one you're talking in, but if you're watching on the TV with the comments on. If you don't know how to cut the comments on YouTube, you just click up. Then you go over to where it says comments, live comments, cut them on, and you can see the comments.
You
There's
got me?
our Sean loud and clear. All right. Pal will be over here. He's in the chat. He'll be in a second. He's going through the process you just did. Get signed in. Everybody share this and repost it. I mean, I would if I was y'all. Well, I like it. I'm trying to get this camera for TikTok right. Boy, this gimbal I got sure is a good one, Sean. I'll tell you.
Good deal.
If you know, you know. Oh, anyway, there you go, TikTok. You don't stop. Trying to get TikTok a good view. Pal will be on any second, guys. He has never used StreamYard or nothing. That's even better. All right. Everybody repost and get ready. What's up, Kentucky? She knows Sean and she knows you, but we don't. Kentucky actually seen you last weekend, she said. That's her YouTube name, Sean.
Cool.
You know her. I'll tell you your name later.
Okay.
She broke track records at Harlan School.
Oh, yeah, I already know who it is.
You
Yeah. Kim and I got to see her, old friend of ours. Yeah, man. That was awesome.
Sean, she's been a supporter of the mayor's. She's been a supporter of mine since day one. She always delivers great advice and great facts. And, well, she was telling me to get my language right way before anybody else.
Way before I was.
Yeah. She had been telling me, I can't watch you. You're too filthy. Well, I've tried to change that, guys. If I'm going to try to get in this political game, because I really do, I don't know any.
Not just a political game.
No,
You're doing a whole lot more than just a political game now. So
yeah, like Morris or any
yeah.
news known or
Well,
whatever.
you gotta you're doing fine. You've come leaps and bounds.
Let's see. I think Powell might be trying to figure out how to go through StreamYard. You got right through to StreamYard, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We was thrilled to see her last week. We hadn't seen her in a long time. So we were thrilled to see her and got to catch up a little bit, take some pictures. So it was pretty cool.
That's
Still
all.
haven't still haven't got those pictures from little Leo though, so I gotta get those.
Do you think that you can beat her in track and field events?
Listen, I think she could pick me up and throw me still today in the shot put, man. She was tough. Unreal.
Yeah,
Unreal.
yeah. I'm glad to finally have somebody come on here and vouch for her. I,
Listen, she
I've stayed at the football field.
I can't remember. She can probably tell us, but was it 4 years in a row, maybe? State champion?
Three
Three?
out of four.
30? Yeah, 3 out of 4. I mean, who does that?
Yeah, I know.
Unreal. Hey, and I got to meet her. We got to meet her husband for the first time. And man, you talking about a nice fella. He is a super nice man. So it was fun for Kim and I. It's like catching up old school.
Yeah, I can imagine because she's been very, very nice to me. I know that.
Yeah, she's She's never she never changes.
If Powell can't figure it out, I could just Kyle him if he can't figure out how to get through here. Now Powell tells me that as smart and intelligent as he is, he's not up on too smart with social media. He says
Well, I'm not either.
a lot of people aren't, so I'm not saying that like in a bad way. I'm just saying he's a straight shooter. He may be having trouble figuring it out.
Well,
Danny Hayes.
you got to create a new account when you go into this if you've not been into it. So you got to choose like Google Chrome or Google or something like that. So
Yeah, just choose if you use Google, Chrome,
yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
Type your name in. But if I have to, I'll call him and we can talk that way. Paul, if you're watching and you can't figure it out, send me your number and I'll call you and put you on speakerphone. If worst comes to worst, we're going to get this in. User with 4738. Well, he's got a bunch of numbers. He says Sean is a good man. Later, Andrew. Everybody repost, please. Everybody share.
And go follow Paul so we can get him up to 50. We can get him live on TikTok.
There he is.
Oh,
We got Paul Brown and is here.
he's in the house. He's in the house.
What's happening?
What are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Sean. What's
How
up?
are you, man?
We had to go all the way around the world to get here, but we're here, baby. We made it.
I like it. I like it. Crack says you all had a big day.
Big, big, big day.
That's what he says. That's what he says. You've you went up there and showboated for sure with him, haven't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know it. You know it. We ran out of time. We needed about. I'm gonna say we needed about 5 more hours.
Oh Lord, I can't imagine you two in the car together. If I would have been in the back seat, I'd have never got a word in edgewise. I'd have been having to hold white flags up saying I surrender. Oh Lord, I know. Golly.
Yeah, you can tell by my voice it's a little bit hoarse. You know how much I talk today because I can talk and scream all day and not get hoarse. So
I know you can. Goodness.
So we've got Austin Miller in the house too. He's on
Is he
panel.
up?
Yeah, he's muted, but he's on panel with us.
Oh, he just skipped out on us.
He may be having trouble too. Kentucky said, "Hello, pal. You would know her if I could say her full name on here." But she said all them records at Harlan High School and track back in the 90s.
Throwing disc and shot put.
Right. My daughter ended up holding the discus record at HC. She didn't hold the shot, but she did hold discus at HC. I think it's still standing. I'd have to double check.
Wow.
When she went to state, she started her junior year. I'll brag on her a little bit. She started on her junior year. She was throwing disc out of the wrong end of her hand and still breaking records. Once we sorted that out, I wasn't a disc guy, right? I don't know that. I know softball, I know some other stuff. Once we sorted it out, she threw it out of bounds about 3 times. Then she broke her own record by 3-4 meters, like 12 feet.
Wow.
And then her last time when she went to state, her last throw at her very last throw at a high school competition at state, I said, "Baby, what do you want to do?" She said, "Dad, if I could hit 100, if I could just hit 100, I'd be happy." I said, "Well, you just go out there, give it your all, baby." Boom, right on the money, 100 exactly.
Really?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. And that opened a door for her. She's at Center College there in Danville on a track scholarship, but she's been track there all 4 years.
Well, that's an academic school, man. She must be tough in academics too. So
yeah,
I can't speak. Sorry.
Yeah, she's learning. I mean, it's amazing. That's one of the, I guess what they call it, a true 4-year school. You can't bring in dual credit stuff. She had almost 40 hours dual credit, but they don't accept any of that. You got to go the full 4 years.
That doesn't work there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's finishing up her senior year this year. It'll be her last track season collegiately. She's enjoyed it. It's been track and field has been And I tell you what, I mean, and not to throw anything off Harlan Independent. That's a great It's a great program, no matter what school you're at. But
Hey,
I,
we got two good
oh,
schools, man. We got two great schools in
yeah,
this county. We're fortunate now.
we are. Coach Ryan Vitito, Dr. V out there with the track and field team at HC. There's not a finer program in that school. I promise you that. I mean, he'll build your confidence. You'll learn some skills. I suggest track and field to everybody. It's one of those things that way underrated.
Yeah.
As far as athletics go, we always think here basketball, football, baseball, softball, things like that. And those are all great programs. But that track and field is kind of in that off season or that sideways season.
Yep.
You can really gain a lot of skills, just balance. I mean, there's so many positive attributes to being involved in that. It's unbelievable. And in this case, my daughter could have never gone to Center College. It just couldn't have happened without track and field. I mean, there was no way humanly possible. I mean, that's a
Well, it's pretty cool because we always seem to forget about track and field, cross country, golf, tennis, and now with HC they got soccer too. I mean,
yep.
Wrestling. Yeah, I met the wrestling coach. Yeah, I mean, I got to meet him the other night at dinner, or several weeks ago at dinner, and he and I we see each other about once a week or something now, and that's pretty cool. People don't realize how well that's been going too. I mean, I think they went to state last year and come pretty close in state last year or something.
I think so. Good friend of mine, Kenny Foster, there, Kenny and Steven that run the campgrounds there in Putney.
Yeah,
his daughters were amazing in wrestling, and he got a lot of frustration. They were trying to set up the wrestling program at HC while they were going through. I think they ended up wrestling out of Knox County or somewhere. Eventually,
yeah.
Schools, but yeah, they went to state title holders. I mean, so we have the talent here. We're not short on talent in any stretch of any imagination in this county. I mean,
No, and that's what Crack and I were talking about earlier. We got to support our youth, man, from
Oh, yeah.
all of our schools. It doesn't matter. We're all Harlan County, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
I mean, our number one export, we always talk about exporting coal. Our number one export since this place has existed has been our human talent. We've exported so much talent here, and we've got to find a way. I mean, that's one of the things I know Austin's talked about. Most of the candidates that I've had real conversations with have talked about that. We've got to start finding an anchor for our youth. We have to start.
That's right.
And it's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month. I mean, this is a long-term plan. But we've never had, as a county, a long-term plan. We did the plan up here just before COVID in the Tri-Cities, looked at a 5-year and 10-year plan, had a great guy that came in here. I'd love to have him to do the whole county. And we set the plan, 5-year and 10-year plan, and we followed that plan over the last 5 years and now started into our second 5 years. And it's working. I mean, Crack can tell you, the mayor can tell you, he was up here today. He sees the plan.
Well, we were talking earlier about what you've been able to accomplish as magistrate up there in your district and everything you guys got going on. And I was talking a little bit because you and I are a little older than Crack, and
Right.
I was telling him about the hotel that used to be in Lynch, and how instrumental International Harvester was, and then one of the biggest golf tournaments really in the state of Kentucky is still held in Lynch at the LIT. There's people from all over the state and probably 4 or 5 different states that come to that LIT every year.
Every year.
And then you have the golf course the golf course is beautiful there in Cumberland. I mean, so I mean, there's some there. I was talking about Veterans Park up there, and I know you were instrumental in that. And then I know Rayburn, he was instrumental in that as well. But that's a cool place. Got the walking trail. I got the opportunity to be a part of that, so I just know a little bit more about that. But that it's only one in the county, to my knowledge.
Yeah, it's the Veterans Park there has been, and I'll give props where props are due to anybody, right? And I'm really not me. I
know.
I prefer to speak positive about anything and everything. And Dan was very instrumental in that.
Absolutely.
Last couple of years, Rayburn has been unbelievable in that. Cleon Cornett kind of started that. God rest his soul. Great veteran. Great.
Yeah.
And
what was the other gentleman that What was the other gentleman's name that was the electrician, maybe for the Bennett's or someone for years and years and years?
Yeah, Don Farmer. Very
Don Farmer. Yeah, man, he was so active in that. It was unreal.
still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Mayor and I went up there today. We stopped right there because adjacent is the Build Ready site, and we were having some conversation about
Yeah.
it, things that have happened or not happened, and some of the trip ups, and just different things. And you've got to sometimes in the world you've got the and I'm not in love with this, but it works. I mean, I call it the spaghetti theory. I'm sure you've heard it before, Sean. Maybe both of you.
Oh yeah.
Spaghetti, you throw enough spaghetti against the wall, some of it's going to stick.
Yeah.
But guaranteed, if you don't throw any spaghetti, you get no stick.
No, nothing's gonna stick. That's right. That's right.
I
So,
go. I tell my son this all the time. The key to success is hearing no. And he said, "Well, Dad, what does that mean?" First time I told him that, I said, "That's the key to success." He
Yeah.
said, "How?" He said, "Wouldn't it be the opposite of that? Wouldn't it be hearing yes the key to success?" I went, "Well, you get to that." I said, "But if you don't hear the no's first, you don't know what you have to overcome."
yeah, that's right.
Ask a young lady out on a date, and she says no. The very next question is the most crucial question on the planet. And it's the same thing if you're talking to a factory, if you're talking to anybody. If they say no, that's okay. You say, "Could you tell me why?"
Yeah.
Now, that young lady might say, "Well, your breath smells bad." Well, go buy you some lifesavers, go back, breathe in her face, and say, "Could we go on a date?" Why again, right? And that's how it goes.
Persistency, man. Persistency.
So eventually, as you hear those no's, you're able to overcome the objections. If you talk
Yeah.
and you say, "Would you like to relocate to Harlan County?" They say no. You say, "Okay, that's fair. I get that. Could you tell me why?" Well, if they tell you, yeah, the soccer team, they may say there's not housing. They may say whatever varied reason. Say, "Okay, well, so now you've got the objection to overcome, and you can prove your point. They may be very valid in their situation, and you say, very
Yeah.
valid. I understand that, and then you work on that, right? But
You know, Paul, we were talking too about how valuable keeping, and I have to call it Southeast Community College because that's what we all knew it as, and I
right,
mean how valuable it is to well, it's just a valuable entity for your end of the county up there. And I say your end of the county, it's part of Harlan County. It doesn't matter, but it is valuable for the Tri Cities because it's an employer, and you still people don't realize how many people are still working up there in that campus environment, and that's huge,
oh,
and that's something that we need to hold in Harlan County.
we do, and it's really helped. And even though we're transitioning, and I've been very fortunate. The new president, Miss Lee Harrison,
Oh yeah, she's wonderful.
I had
Yeah,
a great opportunity. I guess I'll say as far as relationships in the area here, I'm probably one of the longer relationships. I knew her when she was still working at Milligan and coming over here because I knew Jeff. He was on.
oh yeah,
He was mayor here. Is one of the reasons I got on city council initially. And, so I go way back with his whole family, his dad Willie. I mean everybody. So I was introduced to her early on when they first met, and we've had continuous conversation several years now.
yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to have that kind of relationship with her, and we have some real in-depth conversations about it. And a lot of the world, and this is true, and it's positive. This is going to be a very positive thing for our county. A lot of it is shifting from the classroom. When you and I graduated in 1987. The first thing I was told to do is go over there to Southeast. Start working on your
Yeah.
college degree. I did that, and then I've returned several times. Very fortunate to be an alumni of there, and I
Yeah.
ended up with my Lindsey Wilson Human Services and Counseling degree there at age 50 or 51 from the Southeast Community College campus. So it's key not just for what it provides, but the space it provides for other colleges to come in.
Well,
But we're
my wife, man, she's a RN. She graduated from there with her RN license, and then went on, got her 4-year degree, and now she's a nurse practitioner. So I mean, she's an alumni there as well. I
yeah,
mean, there's
it's
so many people that have uh, been, that's just been so beneficial in so many people's lives here
well,
locally. So
I mean, I'm certain, and I don't want to speak for your wife, but I can speak for a lot of other people that started out in the same situation as your wife. Chances are she couldn't have said, "Well, yeah, I can drive to Hazard or I can drive
exactly,
somewhere else." I mean, the convenience of having it here close at hand in our county, 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive, depending on where you're at in the county, is key. Is key
yeah,
to allowing people to just better themselves, better their lives. I mean, it certainly helped me. And now we're having a shift. We're seeing a pretty hard shift into the vocational side of the world.
Yeah.
Grateful, and Rayburn joined me in that at the first graduating class of the lineman's program.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
We've got so many vocational. I mean, you're in construction, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
great if you had 10 people that graduated fresh, or whether it was HVAC, electrical, framing, roofing, any of those, and they could walk right up to you and hand you a piece of paper. Well, you could put them right to work. You're not going to have to explain every step to them. You're able to say, yeah, let's go to work. Let's start doing it.
Listen, I'm a trades guy, and I wish that these high schools would start, freshman year, and start vetting some of these young men and women, and start telling them that, everybody thinks you got to go to college to make a good living. The trades programs have been great to me and my family, and we are in desperate need of plumbers, electricians, welders, HVAC guys. I mean, there are so many good jobs out there. There's jobs here. There's job. I mean,
Everywhere.
in fact about that, there is jobs everywhere. Knoxville, Lexington, Nashville, Asheville, everywhere you go, there are trades jobs available. And if you're a young man or woman out there listening to me, I promise you, there is nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty. I promise you.
No, it's honestly some of the most fulfilling work I've ever done. I worked with HBE Hospital Building and Equipment, redoing the hospital. Gosh, that's been right at 20
Yeah.
years there.
I remember that. Yeah.
Actually, it was over at when they were building the lab and doing some renovations to the one in Hazard as well. I was fortunate to move into a position with them to work at both sites. They actually wanted me to go with them after the job left. I had a choice of somewhere in Michigan, or South Haven, Mississippi, and somewhere in Michigan. I just had my daughter. I said, I appreciate that, but I'm good. And the guy was like, gosh, but it's here and there's nothing here. And I said, well, you see nothing. And I get that. You see nothing. I see everything. I see this place is full of potential. We just have to plug in the right things. But some of the most fulfilling work that I did was, and every time I go into that hospital, I look at the tile that I laid, or the base mold that I put against the wall. I was responsible. They told me, I love this story. They told me I was responsible to hang every single door in that place. And the least expensive door at that time was $800 per. When you got to x-ray and they were lead lined, I think they were $3,400 per door.
And heavy. Oh, very heavy.
They said, all right, Browning, all those doors are yours. I hope they're all right. You mess up a door, you're fired. I said, oh, no pressure. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But every time I open a door in the hospital, every time I walk in there, I feel pride because I actually put my hands on that, right?
It's great, man. It's and I know we've forced, it seems like they force them to go to college, and there's just nothing wrong. And I've actually talked to some of the principals and stuff. I would give anything to start a co-op or an apprenticeship. I mean, I think we have, I don't even know, you'd have to ask Austin. I think we got 12 or 13 guys that works for us. And, but I mean, forever I worked one young man from HC, and now he's a lineman, but for 2 summers straight, he worked for me. And if I said his name, everybody would know him and know who his mother is. And she works for the post office in Harlem, but he was the best young man. I mean, and we took him in the banks with us. We took him in the commercial side. Everybody knew him. Everybody loved him, and he was a great worker. Now he's on the road. He's probably making big money as a lineman. He went through lineman school, and he's just a fine young man. But he decided early on that college wasn't for him, and I mean, God, man, people can make such a good living, Paul. It's amazing, and not have any debt really to speak of.
No debt. I mean, you go in debt for a few $1,000s in tools at best when you start out. I mean, I can point to you, and not just to brag on you. I can point to you. I can point to Austin. I can point to Chris Dixon. I can point to Philip Ball. I can point to some across this county that have made a living, put their kid, food on the table, kids through school, cars, houses. I'm not saying you're a millionaire by any stretch of the imagination. I'm sure you'd correct me very quickly. Neither am I. So, but you've been able to provide for your family, and
Yeah, and what you've been there and watched, and you've seen when we started because we all come up together,
right.
uh, and it's just it has provided for our families, and we've had a good living, and we've been fortunate to be able to stay here and do that in a community where it's awesome to be able to raise your children here. I got news for people. I mean, and I travel a lot now, and you and I, I'm getting old, and so I'm trying to fish a little more and let Austin have a little bit more. But he's trying to keep his dad at home, I believe. So by running for office, I think that's what he's trying to do. I got news for him. I'm ready to retire, man. Oh well, Crack and I talk about this all the time, and we he's been Crack's transitioned so well into this stuff, and
Oh yeah.
what's your plans, man? What do you see in the future?
Gosh, I don't think we have the 46 hours to really go over
No, we
that.
don't. I know you, and I can't stay up that long. I'm getting old. It's about my bedtime.
Uh,
So,
but I mean, I'll share a little bit since we were on the train.
yeah,
One of the things that I've mentioned since the first day I was in fiscal court, we've got a housing crisis in Harlan County, and
absolutely.
people don't believe that we've got a housing crisis here, but because they think, well, there's abandoned houses here and abandoned houses there, there's empty houses. Well, those empty houses, you know the trade. You can't go in there. You'll spend more money trying to prop up a really bad house than to just mow it down and start from scratch. So you talked about a co-op or trying to put something together along those lines. Again, in conversations with Lee, conversations with really across the county. Been having these conversations for a lot longer than I've even been magistrate. Trying to put something together to where these young men and women can learn the trades. They can actually apply it in a real life situation, and we can look at putting some real housing back into the county. That just it helps in so many ways. You've got a lot of one of the things that we're very heavy in this county, and I'll try to stay on track with this, but we're very heavy in widows.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
mining is not easy on a body. You have a lot of great guys. I mean, I could go over just hundreds of them that I've known throughout my life that they retired from mining or got disabled and came out of the mines, and it wasn't too many years past that they passed on,
yeah.
and they were able to provide for their wives. Their wives, in a lot of cases, were true homemakers, right? Which is a tough job. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a tough job. But they were able to stay home and not deal with the ill effects of mining and some of the other things that take place there. They didn't break their bodies down, in other words.
Yeah.
So you've got ladies that are living into their mid 80s, 90 years old. Their husbands have passed since they were, gosh, in some cases 50 and 60, 65 years old. So they've got a long stretch there. Well, they've got houses, 3 and 4 bedroom houses. And I know I'll pull this all together. They've got 3 and 4 bedroom houses they're living in because that's the house they live in. That's all they know.
That's
If you
it.
provide them a 1 or 2 bedroom house, a new house, they could sell the house they're in, which is much larger, that would provide for a family that's growing, and they could move into a brand new house, no issues at all, no plumbing issues, no issues whatsoever. And with what they sell their house for, they can pretty much pay for that new house, that smaller size house. So now you're opening up a housing market of larger houses to families that are growing. You're getting people that are going to be a lot safer and a lot better shape into these smaller, newer homes, more energy efficient across the board. And that's what I was showing the mayor today as we were riding around. I said, we've been able to take down some blighted and abandoned houses all through the district up here.
Oh yeah,
Got basically a build ready site. You've got
yeah.
water, you've got sewer, you've got electric right there. You don't have to do any of that prep work. You've got roads to it. You've got everything. So, and most of the cities here are in agreement. They will, if you're building a house, they will bless you with that property. They'll turn that property straight over to you because they want to get it back on the tax rolls. If
Well,
you're water,
it's funny you're saying that because that's one thing that the our company is probably we're getting ready to do, and that's we're going to build some 1,000 square foot, 1,200 square foot
yeah,
homes,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we're going to sell them off is what we're going to do,
yeah,
and we're also something that my wife has realized that in her new business with Front Porch Medical, she goes into these homes, man, and these elderly people that you're talking about, and Crack's wife or soon to be wife works for as well. They
right,
go into these homes and they're not they're not handicap accessible. and they
No,
can't get out of their house. They can't get in and out of their house, and
no.
they need ramps and stuff. So, and if you can move them to a location to where that they're actually handicap accessible, they can get in or out, and you have, I think, I think there's a lot of that up there in the Tri-Cities. There's a lot of that in the outskirting areas of our county. Maybe not so much in downtown Cumberland, but
Right.
in the outskirting areas, you see a lot of that. So it's funny that you said that, because that is a big deal. That is a big deal.
And we've got the ability. I mean, we've got. I helped put some ordinances on the books 20 plus years ago here in the city of Cumberland, and Mayor Raleigh has done a great job. He's updated those. The council, all of them, they have done a great job in updating those as need be. We've got some lightning fast ordinances up here that take blighted and abandoned properties, and we just take them out. I mean, it's not a 3-year process. We're talking in some cases 30,
Yeah.
60, 90 days. You've got a build ready site right there. And you start talking about the accessibility. I was an American General Insurance agent for a while on a debit route, and went
Yeah,
into
you've done everything. I know.
and going into those homes. I mean, they're just not safe either. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not safe.
yeah,
They're fire
they're
and
not.
we've got issues with a lot of these homes that people are, and God love those widows. I mean, they don't, and when that income leaves, they've got, especially if they were homemakers the home time, they've just got a few $100s coming in SSI or whatever it is that they're
Yeah,
trying to live on. They can't do repairs to these homes. They
no.
can't do upgrades to these homes. And I see so much of that. But man, if we could just bridge that gap, right? Just bridge that gap, start getting some of the, and those aren't tiny homes. Tiny homes now are heck 200 and 300 square feet, but you start talking 900 to 1,200 square foot homes, one level homes. Man, that's perfect. I mean, that's,
Yeah, and that's something we can produce. With the workforce that I have, that's something that we can produce relatively quick, and
oh yeah,
try to keep them affordable for this area as well. Because we always had, I mean, that's a huge thing too. We got to be affordable for this area, and I know there's some homes that's been built out there, but when you start taking a 1,200 square foot house and it's costing $150,000, and you got a problem, and that's not affordable for this area. I mean, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but we know this area, and it's got to be less than that. So,
if we had
it's
100 homes right now, Sean, under $100,000, and I mean if it was 99,999, if we had
yeah,
100 homes right now under $100,000 in 100 days, I guarantee you would need 100 more homes.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the crisis we actually have here. And another thing to look at, and I was enlightened to this. I did not get to take the tour. I was in a great meeting in Louisville. Had to miss the tour, but I've been invited back, and maybe all three of us can go up there. But and they're also doing this over in Hazard. But they've got when I say manufactured house, don't think double wide, don't whatever. But they're constructing walls, in factories. They're putting these walls together, putting these things together. So it's more like think like when they do a Taco Bell now. They pull up with a
it's a
Taco
prefab home.
prefab.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there, just put 1, 2, 3, 4. You bolt this wall to that wall and this to that. Trusses are there. They're putting homes together in days.
We
Days.
put. I was fortunate enough early in my career that I worked for a company that done that, and in Louisa, Kentucky,
Yep.
I've done a subdivision of 24 homes for the CAP project, Christian Appalachian Project, and we could literally, they would pour the slab, we'd go in and set the house, we would have the house in the dry in a day.
See, that's what I'm
In
talking.
one day, it was amazing that, and it was a prefabbed house. They bought the
Yep.
package,
Yep.
whatever, and then I also I worked, that company was out of Pompano Beach, and I ended up going to St. Martin and Trinidad and doing some work over there as well. We took several of our guys over there and done some work, and those things are amazing how quickly they go up. And with us, I mean, I'll be honest, uh, I've seen some days when we could start from the floor and dry a house in a day too. So
Right.
for just working and framing one. So if we have everything on site, and I tell you, I mean, I work well with Matt Fox and Amy, and people don't realize they're a big part of this county as well. So
And
Big.
I've never gone to Amy. I deal with Amy. She's up here more. I've never gone to Amy and said, Amy, look, I'm not trying to beat you up, not whatever, but I need 100 pieces of this or 300 of these things, right? And just here's where we're at in the world. Here's
Yeah.
the world that we live in. I can save this amount or that amount. She has always said, let me see what I can do. Let me just see what I can do. And she has always, always, always gotten to the point. And again, I want to spend money at home, right? I mean, that's not.
Absolutely, because they're spending money out in the public. They're giving to the schools in
Yeah.
return. I mean, and it's not everybody always tells what everybody does, and
Correct.
uh, it's you know we, and it's funny because Matt and I have had these conversations. Amy and I have had these conversations, and we all grew up together. So I mean, it's a big deal, and we know it is a
Right.
huge need in this county. Kim and I talk about it all the time. I mean, we just talk about it all the time, and and I know you're in the rental. You have some rental property, and we do too. And
Right.
there's not enough of that to go around either. I mean, it's affordability again is getting that's becoming a problem too, even in rental property.
It is across the board. That's
Uh,
uh we
wages are not keeping up with
nope.
the rental. So
Oh well, there's
uh,
a the good news is every issue that you just mentioned, and I'm in complete agreement with, all those issues there are solutions out there. There's not
yeah,
magic wand solutions. There's not hocus pocus solutions. I mean, you have to put the work in. You have to plan it. You have to put the
yeah.
work. You have to do it. Good. And then again, it's not going to happen in a week,
No,
but
no,
it can happen. And like with that prefab home, so when you've got inclement weather like we'll have this weekend or whatever, if you've got something under roof that you can go in with jigs and set those walls up and just bang those walls out and stack up wall A and wall B and wall C,
that's it.
you have no downtime. So those paychecks continue rolling. You're in the process of manufacturing basically 24 hours a day if that's what you want to do. But you're not going to get caught in the rain. You're not going to get caught in the snow. You wait for good weather. You assemble the house. Boom, pow, ping. Go on to the next. But it's absolutely positively that is something that is needed, and not just here. I mean, my neighbors there in Letcher County still haven't recovered from the flood.
No, yeah.
Go
And I have to give a shout out to my son there. He actually went over there and he was part of that, and he helped do some cleanup over there, and then he ended up in out over in the Carolinas in that last one, and uh, he he and our men went over there and they took three or little Joel Phillips, I think, went and they took 4 or 5 pieces of equipment over there and they stayed a couple weeks and and you don't get paid for that stuff, guys. I mean, I'm sorry, you just don't get paid for that. It's a long shot if you do. You're lucky. Generally, a church will take care of you. The fire departments will feed you or let you shower there or whatever. But
it.
when you go over there to do that kind of stuff, those boys come back with a different outlook on things when they seen what they saw.
They
So
did. We went over as a county. We took all their everything we could over to Letcher County just days after that flood, and I
yeah,
was my guys. I mean, I've got pictures. I was looking through today trying to sort pictures out, and it was I'd never seen water do that before, and
yeah,
it was amazing. But I mean, you could take those prefabs houses, not just here, but certainly we need them here. I imagine you could do 300, 400 plus in Letcher County. You start talking about Knott County. They're putting in a whole new community up by
desperate need.
I mean, it's on and
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
There's no end in sight for housing. So you talked about a vision. That's certainly one of the visions we've got to look at, and we can move the entire housing market around here. And then you start talking about people that want to work remotely. I know, I can definitely absolutely say 2 handfuls of people that bring their own income, bring their own job,
Yeah.
and want to move here but can't find the housing that they want.
Yeah.
They can't find the adequate spot that they want, and it drives me insane because that's
Well,
tax for us. That's income for us. That's people that are going to be spending money that's coming from a completely outside source, not just
yeah,
in money. And those dollars turn. They don't turn. It used to be it was they every dollar that came in fresh to a county turned 9 times. Then it got moved to 7, and now you've got a lot of online buying, but it's at least turning 5 times inside a county. So that dollar becomes 5, or that 100 becomes 500, or that 1,000 becomes 5,000.
and they're
And,
bringing their own resource in. That's
and
the other thing. It's
yeah,
not something. It's not something that you're giving up out of the county. Another job from somebody else. They're
no,
bringing their own resource in. So that's the big thing about it too. So
yeah,
and you were talking about blighted property a while ago, and I know I have to, I have to give a shout out to our magistrate down here where I'm at in the fifth as well, James Howard, man. He's He's tearing them down
James.
in Lowell. He's cleaning up. He's he's done a great job with the fifth down here. I can't say anything negative about James Howard. James Howard has helped people, and
Oh,
he takes his own equipment out. Heck, I mean, he's kind of like Austin.
yeah,
Austin, I'll ask him where the skid steer's at. Well, Dad, and you know as well as I do what he does. I don't have to toot his horn, man.
right.
He's a good kid, man. A good
Well,
young man.
James and I started that conversation about 3 years ago. He said, I see what you're doing up there in Cumberland, and I'm quick to say this. I mean, so I'm quick to say it's not me. I love to help where I can and what I can. But I told him, I said, no, that's some of the work we started 20 plus years ago in City Council, and we've updated some things. So he was able to get those ordinances from Cumberland and have them put right in place there in Lowell.
Yeah.
And but you've seen a lot of movement with that, and we're trying to get some of the best policies. I will say there are people that don't live in the city on purpose, right? There are people that live out in a county area because they don't want to be inside a city.
Yeah.
And get that. So all the city ordinances will not transfer into county areas. They won't, and they shouldn't. There's
Yeah.
two different mindsets, but we need to take at least the blighted and abandoned property portions of that work in a county setting and apply those on a county level. And we've not done that yet. We've touched on it, we've talked about it, but we've not fully enacted those. But if we enact those, then you can see that kind of movement across the entire county in every holler, every nook, every cranny.
Well, and even Harlan City, even you're seeing it in the city limits of Harlan. They're starting to Big Chev and them are starting to
Yep.
they're starting to take care of blighted properties as well. And I mean,
Yep.
it's just it's a need, and it needs to happen. And you know, I mean, even and I have to be the naysayer myself. I've got one or two probably that could stand to be tore down myself, and I've just not been had time to get to them. So,
I,
but we're doing it. So
I
I've
get
got to be a naysayer. Clark Bailey or James one needs to go through oat loyal and regular loyal and get rid of all them empty lots in them houses.
and I think that is
It's
I
very
think
bad down that way.
in the works. You can probably, I mean, James is pretty up to speed on that, and I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, and the mayor here, Charles Raleigh's done a great job in Cumberland, been right on top of a lot of things. He's got a construction background as well, so he understands how that works and what it takes, to take a house down and all of that. He's done a fantastic job here. Danny Quillen and Lynch has done a great job. Danny Quillen and Benham and Justin Wren and Lynch, they've all done great jobs with focusing on the blighted and abandoned properties. And I couldn't go in and do it by myself in a city. You have to have a county,
Right.
it's quote unquote the larger government entity. We don't have any. We can't go into a city as a county and demand anything or do anything. It has to go through the city government, the mayors and the council there. We're only able to add. We're only able to help or assist. We can't take the lead on anything. And so it's imperative that
you can collaborate.
Yeah, it's imperative that you're able to communicate and collaborate with those city entities. And I think every other magistrate in Harlan County, they always say, "I do not envy you, Paul. I don't envy you. We've got incorporated cities in the county. I've got 3 of them in my district, right in a row: Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch." And they're like, "I don't envy you for that." And I'm like, hey, I get along great with my cities. And if you can get with a city and explain kind of what you're wanting to do, it was easy up here. Everybody up here is on the same page. I feel certain that city of Everett's, I know they're doing some of that work up there. I know I know the city of Harlan and the city of Lowell all desire to have a better place visually.
And I'm probably going to say something that's probably going to be very unpopular with a lot of people, and I just say it because I say it. Unfortunately, the city of Lowell's population has changed,
It has.
and several years ago we seen where when Wallens at one time they had to dissolve their city.
Yes.
And that it may come a point at some point that Lowell's probably going to have to consider that as well. They're having, I know for a fact that they have sewer issues. Their infrastructure is old and dated, and I'll tell you, that's another thing. James Howard's been instrumental in keeping that going for them in a lot of different ways. And but there's going to come a time, and there's going to become a time to where money's going to become an issue, and I'm not so sure that the city of Lowell will be able to maintain it with their tax base that they have now. And I'm not, I don't, Paul probably knows a lot more about that than I do, but unfortunately, economics takes precedent over a lot of things.
It
And,
does.
when that happens, and I know there's some older folks down there that probably are cringe if they was to hear me say that, but we see it with schools, we see it. I mean, economics,
Yeah,
it's the bottom line.
it is. There's a bottom line to everything,
Yeah.
and even if you have all the emotion tied to it, even if you have all the heartstrings attached to it, and I mean, again, when I was with the mayor today, I said we went to the Lynch grade school. I said this was grades 1 through 6. I said I
Yeah.
graduated here 6th grade. It was the last year it was open. I went to Benham 7th and 8th grade. They weren't open much longer after I
I
left
played
there.
basketball in that middle school ball in that Benham gym. We played against Benham. I remember that.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
then I went to Cumberland. I graduated from so all the schools that I actually attended in Cumberland. So I don't want to say I'm a graduate of Southeast because my track record of having schools still open that I attended is not very good.
so
Honor.
let's change up here a little bit. And I know you're
Yeah.
on fiscal court, so you know the burdens of this, and you've heard this time last year, the part probably over half of the county was in despair, and that's the water.
It is.
Water. And I
It
mean, it's a touchy situation. And I know, you had a say in what was going on too. You knew what was going on day to day. Uh, you know, B Mud that was a big deal last year, 14 to 15, 16 days. And it started about right during this period of time. That was the first event that we had. And you know, I think now I'm hearing good stuff. I know Nexus out of a company out of that's overseas Middlesboro is managing B Mud right now. I hear they're doing much better. Ronnie Williams is he's down there and he's doing a great job with it.
Yeah.
And the other guys as well. They're doing. I mean, listen, they've got some great employees down there at B Mud. But I'm hearing that they're going to be maybe purchased by Kentucky American, and hopefully that gives us and interjects some financial support into our infrastructure where we don't have the $10 million that's needed to there's no way that we could come up with what's needed to
yeah.
improve that water system. I don't think people realize, Paul, there's 540 miles of water line that B Mud services, and they were doing it with 6 or 7 men. It's an impossibility.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, it was impossible. And James again was on top of that.
Yes,
Ran in
yes.
the middle.
Every day
And
he was out with us. Every day.
every
Every day.
so I didn't have to get as involved in that. Uh, and let me back up a little bit on that. The it was not my plan to run for judge executive this term. That was not my plan. I want to be very clear about that. I'd had a conversation um, with Dan. People had asked me about running for judge.
Mm.
I had conversations with him. I had a conversation with Dan. I guess it's been almost a year ago now, and I just laid my cards out on the table, asked him what his thoughts were. At that time, he said, "Well, I intend on running for judge." I said, "Well, I told you 25 years ago that I would support you if you ran for judge. So my word's still good. 25 years later, if you're going to run for judge, I can't support you, run against you. We can't do that. So I'm in full support. I'm happy to be magistrate in District 3. There's some work still to be done up there. That's fine." That was about a 2 hour conversation. When we got to the end of that conversation, he said, "I'll tell you this, though, if I change my mind, you'll be the first elected official that I call." I thought, I won't get that phone call. That's great. Shook his hand, and we went and did other things. So I kind of turned my focus back into District 3 at that point, really concentrating on some of the issues we had up here with water and wastewater.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
doing what we'd been doing, kind of following the plan again. And so I knew James was on top of that. Dan was there. I felt like everybody that had the most knowledge was at that table and taking.
We were.
And James was updating me, if not every day, every other day, just kind of keeping me up to speed what was going on. And I knew that what he was saying was going to be correct. There was no issue with that. I didn't even have to question it, right? Yeah. So I didn't get as involved in that. Now, when Dan did give me the phone call, he kept his word. I imagine I was the first elected official that he called, and he told me he was not going to seek the judge executive's position. I immediately said, wow. I looked around, and this isn't tooting my own horn. This isn't doing anything. I spoke with the other magistrates. I spoke with other elected officials. I wanted to look truly and squarely at every possibility out there to occupy that chair. So after having a lot of conversations, I had a lot of support. People wanted me to do that. We went forward with that. I've had a lot of conversations since entering the race.
I got an early morning text when you were going to file.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I mean, I respect that, and I thank you for that. So.
Yeah, and so I've gotten more up to speed on a lot of these things. I'm not where I would like to be, but I agree with everything you said. The management group that came in and was helping BMUD.
Yes.
I mean that probably cut air 14 days. I mean that could have been 28 days. That could have been 28
it was
days.
Awful. Yeah.
Just so I definitely appreciated them coming in, helping with that. Basically contracting with them now to be able to do that. I mean, I can pull 1,000 analogies. The first day that you decided to pick up a hammer and nail, Sean, I'm certain that you're more skilled at it today than you were the first day.
Absolutely.
So when you bring on new employees, whether it's BMUD or anywhere it is, learning curve there that takes quite some time. And water and wastewater is unlike anything on the planet. I learned that at my time with city council up here. And
it sure is.
It is an animal all unto itself. It's not like household plumbing. It's not like anything else out there. And so you can't expect someone in even a year or 2 year or 3 years time to know what they're doing. I mean, they're just not going to know everything they need to know. So looking at this management group coming in that had just years of experience, has the proper equipment, and then looking forward to seeing if American Water, if we're able to do that. We run into a kind of a strange situation. Most water systems are not necessarily county owned. And when I say that, fiscal court really doesn't have anything to do with that. It is under its own board. It's its own thing. Kaywood Water District, Black Mountain Utilities, they are their own entities, but they are county entities. Most water servicing entities in the state of Kentucky are city owned. So transferring a city water system has been done before. Transferring a county water system like that has not been done before. You've got to look back at grant monies that have been spent on those projects.
Yeah.
Transfer that to a private corporation. As long as it's a county entity, it's no issue with that. When you transfer that over to a private corporation, do we have to pay that money back? So there's a few hoops we still have to jump. I think we're in better shape now than we were this time last year.
Oh, and yeah.
Is not saying anything about anybody that put their hands on that stuff last year. Kudos to them. Freezing cold, water up to their chest, freezing cold water. I commend everyone that put a hand on anything.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen some of those videos because it was a nightmare, man. It was, but I mean, that's what I say. The guys were tremendous that worked down there, and we had some young guys that stepped up, and they're still there. And the opportunity. The nice thing about if it does sell, Kentucky American will come in and they'll create probably about 20 jobs, and these are going to be really good paying jobs. They'll give the opportunity to the employees, of course, that are there now, but we're talking about really good jobs with retirement. And different 401 matches and health care, because they're able to utilize funds from Lexington, Frankfurt, and different. They're so large. And I think that what they interject into our county, that it would be really, really beneficial. And because B Mud it's the largest, it's probably the largest water company in the county. I would assume. I think that we got
Oh,
about 4,000 customers, 3,700
yeah,
customers, something like that.
yeah, the upper threes for sure. And like
Yeah,
Cumberland, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but I know B Mud's distribution, household distribution, I think is larger than Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch combined, or it's
yeah,
but that's
it's
three separate entities. And I know Harlan City does what they do, but again,
yeah.
they supply to B Mud, and
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, and all of B Mud's water is purchased,
yeah,
and the other thing about that is Kentucky American, in my conversation on the front end with them, is they actually talked about they're already talking about putting a water plant in,
right,
and that's another big deal for Harlan County because that's more jobs for Harlan County. And anytime that you can create jobs, I mean, you say, oh, that's just 22 jobs, Sean. Well, America was built on small.
yeah,
There's
no,
not
no, and I,
yeah. I mean,
I
look
can
what you're doing in Cumberland.
yeah, I can touch on that easy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would much prefer to have 100 people hiring 10 people, right?
yeah,
So, because if any of those 100 fail, then you're only losing 10 jobs.
yeah,
Now, if you had one place that hires 1,000 people and that goes under, you've got an issue. I mean, you've got an
yeah.
issue right now. Yeah, we can look back at the TL Bain and some of the other things, and again, not throwing rocks, but
Yeah.
if you're a 300-400 person employer, and then they decide to pull out because tax credits run out or whatever the situation is,
Oh
then
yeah.
you've immediately got 300 or 400 people that need a job. I would much rather try to find 10 people a job than 300 people a job, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
small is where
Exactly.
it's at. I mean, I can look at Cumberland Mine Service. I can look at RT Welding. I can look at so many of your company. I can look at so many
Yeah.
success stories around this county, and they're not 300 employees. They're 3, 13,
Yeah.
30 employees. I mean, that's where you're lean, mean. You can go out and you can do things. You can be very effective. You don't have, it's cutting out the waste. It's cutting out the issues like that because you know everything that's going on, and that's the way to move forward. That's how we're going to move forward. It used to be called a cottage industry, and people were like, well, what's that? And it was really just 10 employees or 10 or 15 employees. So you can call it whatever you want, but I just call it. You can almost say a micro company as compared to a Toyota or something like
Sure,
that.
sure. And that's what that small industry is what has built America. That's
That-
what America's built on. I mean, people can holler all they want to, but that's what it's built on is small business. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be 10, but it can be 20. And
right,
I think as a family, I think we're probably knocking the door on 20 overall now. But then you take Otis Jackson, for example, and I'm very involved there at Cash Saver in the commissary.
right.
He employs probably 40 to 45 people at any common time. And, he has done the best he can do to try to get his wages up
Yep,
and trying to give
Yep.
the folks just a working chance because
No,
he sees it and he the least greedy person I've ever seen in my life.
I would.
That's what he is, man. He's good at it, and he likes his employees, and he loves to cut meat and let somebody else handle the front end. He don't care. He likes to cut meat, but I mean that's what it's built on. Don's that's they probably employ 25 to 40 or something like that. I mean it's around the. I mean
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. If you work for the large, I know you have worked for large companies and you work for small companies, and you've
yep,
seen the layoffs and you've seen the good and the bad. So,
yep.
uh,
I've been on corporate jets, and I owned a 80 model Dodge pickup when I was building everything in between, brother.
I
Honestly,
know you have. I know. I mean, you've been with the good and the bad on both ends. So,
the good, the bad,
uh,
and a whole lot of the ugly. That's a
oh
fact.
yeah, yeah. Well, we've both been there together on some of that. So,
We-
uh,
But
yeah,
some of the vision that we need to cast out there, and again, a lot of that just comes back to putting a plan together. The old saying is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and there's no truer statement. If you'd said, if you took your company out there and said, well, we're just going to build a house, and you're like, well, what are we going to do? Heck, we're just going to get some wood and
yeah,
stuff and put it together. Well, no, you've got house plans, you've got ideas, you have footers, you have these things. That's all a plan. A house plan is a plan. If you don't build with a house plan, it's going to take a whole lot longer. It's going
Oh
to,
yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
yeah. If you don't plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's very simple. And I don't know if we've ever had an overall plan for the entire county. And again, when I say that, we really have 5 counties here. Inside Harlan County, we have 5 very distinct areas. So we have 5 counties inside this county. I mean, when you're in Bledsoe, it is absolutely unlike Benham. When you're in Cranks, it's absolutely unlike Cumberland. When you're in Path Fork, it's absolutely different than Putney. When you're in all these different areas, they have their own fingerprint. They have their own distinct pros, cons, situations that you've got to deal with. So you have to look at every single community, really almost every street in some cases, and see what works on that street. A policy, something that works in Benham, is not going to work in Bledsoe, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So you have very unique plans, but you've got to start somewhere with that plan. And you can look at an overall plan and say, well, we want to attract business, and we want to attract those businesses like you're talking about, those 30 and less employees. I think we can help with that with tax credits. I think we've got buildings available to make that functional. The mayor saw today as we were going through Cumberland, those buildings, we've got coffee shops, we've got boutiques, we've got salons, we've got pizzerias, we've got just so many of the things. We started since I've been in office, and that includes COVID years. We've started 26 businesses in this district. 23 of them are still operational. That's
huge. That's huge.
Yeah, we turned over 33, and actually I added 3 to this, so I can say
Let
30.
me ask you this too, Paul, and,
Yes.
you're more up to date on this because I mean I'm on the other end of the spectrum, so I really don't know. But what about offering the local people who are putting back into the county, such as yourself, or different things like that? I mean, the local people who are willing to spend their money, build buildings, and start businesses. Is there any way that we can offer anything to local folks to entice them to invest back into the county themselves? I mean, because you're doing it, others are doing it,
Yeah.
but there's not a whole lot in return.
Yeah,
But we're willing to offer somebody from out of town to come in here, and we're going to give them a break. So can we not offer that to someone who's willing to do that, and maybe that entices more to do more within our county here?
100%. So here's something you've touched on, something that's near and dear to my heart. And that's the entrepreneurial spirit that we don't have in this county. And let me explain it. We've had corporation after corporation, whether that's U.S. Steel, International Harvester, I could go on and on, the Ford Motor Company in Wallens.
Absolutely.
They provided housing, they provided schools, they provided hospitals, they provided the commissaries where you bought your food, they provided every single amenity you need. Hotel in Lynch. You could go in that hotel. If you went into that hotel before 10 o'clock in the day, at 3 p.m., you had a fully tailored suit made on site. They provided everything.
Yeah.
So all you had to do was put on your work boots, go do your job, and return home. That's all that was required of you, is to do your job. Well, that's great if they're providing everything. But that doesn't lean to any sort of an entrepreneurial spirit. That doesn't lean to anyone thinking, well, I could do that myself. Because you had U.S. Steel. That was the largest corporation on the face of this planet that came all the way to the end of the road, into the railroad line. Basically, I was telling the mayor today, I said, we were up on Black Mountain. I said, everything that you can possibly see, and then some more, was owned by U.S. Steel.
Every bit of it.
I said, so it's hard to imagine if you're working in a mines day in and day out, gosh, could I go build a hospital and a school no, that's beyond your thought process. So they broke a lot of the entrepreneurial spirit here in our county. There's Kentucky Boom, or Boom Kentucky, is now in both of our high schools. Harlan Independent came a year earlier, but in HC as well. That is an entrepreneurship program. That's what they do, is teach our young people how to be business owners. I mean, I have lost a lot of money, Sean, being in business, because I didn't necessarily know how to be in business.
That's it.
Learned the hard way.
Yeah.
That's painful, but that's how
It
you learn
is.
best, is either through your billfold or getting busted in the mouth, right? I mean, that's the two ways you
That's
learn.
it.
So I learned a lot of lessons. I'm able to help the 26 businesses we started up here. None of those were corporate businesses. Those were all local people. But to break down what a hamburger actually costs you to make takes a minute. You have to weigh out the meat. You have to realize the bun. If you're buying an 8-pack, well, what does one of those buns cost? How much is this lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, the mayonnaise, the fork, the bag? I mean, you have to account for everything. It's 1 penny per napkin. I mean, I know this stuff. I love that. But you have to break that down. If someone says, man, I want to go in business, that's one of the first questions I ask them. Okay, what are you going to sell? Oh, I'll sell a hamburger. How much does it cost? Oh, I'm going to sell it for $5. No. How much does it cost you? And they can't answer that question. They just are going to sell it for $5. And that's part of the entrepreneurial spirit, the mindset. You have to be able to say it's going to be long, it's going to be hard. I'm sure you could have went to work for someone else. I could have went to work for someone else, and we could have had a totally different life, no issues at all. But doing it, pulling up our own bootstraps with our own boots, teaches you a lot, and it's things that you can't unlearn. But you can transfer that knowledge to other people. I think every single business that opened, well, let me take that back. Out of 26 of them, I'm certain I had very intimate 16 or 17 of those, and really broke down, what they were buying, what they were selling, how it was going to look, rents, electric bills, everything. I wanted them to be fully aware of what they were getting ready to step into. That's how we were able to keep 23 of them still going, is because they had full knowledge going in of what the situation was. There was no sneak attack. Oh my God, I didn't realize the electric bill was going to be $1,200. Oh my God, I didn't realize rent was going to be $1,000. They knew all this going in. So you have to teach that. So absolutely, we should start at home, but we've got to have a stepping stone, or the ability to, if you want to open a restaurant, you need to know what that entails. You need
Sure.
to
Sure.
understand that. If you want to start a construction company, you need to know what that entails. You're going to have, yeah, you can do it with a hammer. A nail gun's a lot better, but a nail gun costs X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
That's going to save you time, going to save you labor, but there's a trade-off. You have to pay for that up front. So, uh,
And I think that
absolutely,
goes hand in hand with what we were talking about with the young people, bringing them into the system earlier than what they're getting
yes,
into now.
yes,
I think that's huge. Of because let's face it, school when you and I went to school is different than and even crack when he went to
yeah,
school. It's different from what they're doing now. And I mean,
absolutely,
we were taught to balance a checkbook. We were taught to write checks. We were taught to
right,
address envelopes and
Mm-hmm.
even how to keep score when we were going bowling.
right,
I
right.
mean, that was one thing we were taught. I mean,
Yeah.
and if you were to tell somebody to keep score bowling today, I guarantee you they couldn't do it because those machines do it for you. And
That's
and
correct.
you and I
Mm-hmm.
know you and I could do it, and probably Crack could do it too because we were taught that in school,
Right,
and like that was really important. But we were taught how to do that, and like Roman numerals and
right.
different. There's so much. It's so different today, and I think we got away from those important basics.
We have
I
every
mean,
every time
Everybody
somebody,
uses two
I,
fingers.
I say thank you, Miss Souders, because she told me, do not write dollars. If you look at the end of the line, dollars is already there. Do not write dollars. Every time
yeah,
I write a check, I hear a voice saying, do not write dollars.
yeah, yeah. It's there. It's there. I mean, and you have kids today that don't know. I mean, and I know this for a fact because they've come to us before and asked us. They don't know how to address an envelope,
No, no idea.
and they've gone through high school, and
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm like, are you kidding? But if you can't email it, they don't know it can't be done. Or if they
right.
if they don't have a plastic card and go to an ATM, it can't be done. And that's the reason why I think it's so important that some of this stuff needs to be. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
the
the fun.
co-op program was great for me
Yeah, yeah, the
my
fun.
senior year. It was great for me.
Whether you're playing basketball, whether you're doing whatever you're doing, the fundamentals, if you don't have that basic, that fundamental, that baseline, that foundation, you're not going to be, I mean, you might be the best the entire planet. You might be able to knock it down from half court every single time you touch
Yeah,
the ball. But at some point, you're going to have to dribble, right? If you can't
that's
dribble,
it.
it don't matter how good you shoot. You're going to have
That's it. That's it, man. I mean, it's and sometimes I question, where we're going at in education in the educational process because I mean there's such a gap. There is such a huge gap there with uh, the young people and mine and your generation especially, and then now really it's Crack's generation too. So
right.
I mean it's that gap is just and it's like it's increasing.
It is. And here's the situation. If you go back to the turn of the century, well, I guess two turns now. Let's say when U.S. Steel was being built up here, the 1900s. At that point in time, it for all the information and all the knowledge that was on the planet to double, it took 100 years to do that. As you moved into the industrial age, you started getting into the 40s and 50s, kind of your basic computers and some of that thing. Then your all the knowledge on the planet, and I'm going
Yeah,
to say that correctly, but all the knowledge on the planet, instead of being 100 years to double, started moving into half that, a half century, 50 years to double. Well, then you started moving into the 70s and you really started getting computers and you really started getting things. Then you moved that down to 30 years. And I don't know the most up to date, but I'll say I looked at this 7 or 8 years ago. The entire knowledge on the planet is able now to be doubled in less than 3 years.
yeah,
So when you say that, then you go back and you try to say, well, we had 12 years of public education. In that 12 years, we could learn a good portion of the knowledge that was available. It's difficult to say if the entire knowledge base of the world is doubling in 3 years. I mean, that's too much information, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah,
all the information you need in there. So the specialization and things, I try to be well rounded across everything, and I always suggest that to everybody. You know a little bit about everything, but we're getting to the point in a society that you can't know everything that there is to know.
yeah.
So you're going to have to find that pocket that interests you.
That
What
niche, that niche.
focus on that?
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree.
I mean, there's
Well, I got a big question I've been dying to ask, and I'm
You
not even,
can't get a. You can't get a. You should have threw a white flag up, man. We're
I was thinking about raising my hand, but I got one statement. It's not even a question. The Belks Building Rec Center.
oh Lord, that's a ooh 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 ooh.
Question
That's a hot topic right now.
to be
I
continued.
don't. I, you may not want to go down that rabbit hole right now. That's a tough one, man.
No,
I, I let me and I would do this for any candidate right now because that is a tough question. And I tell you, I mean, I'm out in the county, and unfortunately, I'm hearing more negative about the Belks project than I am positive uh, due to cost. They're hearing no one's hearing true numbers,
no.
and they really don't know. I don't believe anybody knows true numbers right now, and
no.
I'm trying to keep Paul from.
I appreciate you.
I
I'll
mean,
I mean,
and if he wants to he can if he wants to talk about it, it's fine. But that is I know throughout the entire county, and listen,
folks.
you still have a lot of taxpayers in this county, and they're wondering why we're doing that when we could be doing other things with the infrastructure and different, and I I for one I question as well because I'm a numbers guy and I know what the cost of things are. I do it every day for a living.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm involved in Florida. I'm involved here. I'm involved in projects out of this county, and I know what things cost. I mean, I work with architects and engineers on a daily basis, every day of my life. That's what it entails, and I know. And I'm hearing it, and I know my son as a candidate for magistrate is hearing it. Man, they are pulling his ear,
They
and
are.
I mean,
I
so
and I certainly appreciate you throwing 10,000 life buoys out there to me. I do. And start by saying it's still
hurt to say
target.
what else I can say about it. I'm not in a well, Sean's definitely right, and I can throw a number out there if I want to. Uh, I think about $2.3 million is a lot of money.
It is, and possibly $16 million is a whole hell of a lot more. Point
There
three.
you go. I was waiting because my numbers are between 15 and 20 million all day long. And
Uh,
that's what the total cost of the project is. There's not an architect can argue with me. I don't care who they are. I've been in business doing this for 33 years. They cannot tell me that. I mean, I'm sorry. It don't work like that.
So I'm gonna throw. Let me kind of throw a couple of things out there that I think are important to know. So we had the discussion about the rec center, and some of that discussion started even prior to me coming on to fiscal court. I've been there 7 years, going on to starting into my 8th year. So basically, one full term and finishing this term out. So a lot of the conversation started before I got there. When when things came to in front of fiscal court for a vote, when we finally, I'll just say, when the current judge executive felt like he had enough dollars in the account, we'll say, to move forward on this. That's the easiest way to say that. So he brought that vote. He brought the panel. He'd assembled a panel. They had studied. They'd done their due diligence. They presented their findings, and he basically asked for a vote um, of fiscal court. So there's 5 members, um, District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the case of a tiebreaker or something to that effect, the judge then can also vote himself. So you can have up to 6 votes in a situation. So we went through magistrate by magistrate or district by district. When it came to me, um, I abstained. And let me explain to you how an abstention works. A yes is a yes, a no is a no. I abstained because my issue is not with a rec or wellness center. It's not for providing that for the citizens of the county. My issue and the reason I abstained from that vote was purely the dollars that were going to have to be expended for that particular facility. Now, we went on around the table, and James Howard in District 5 also abstained. And for the same reason, we're not against a rec center. We're not against a wellness center. We're not against something that can be provided for the community. We are against the amount of money that we heard, the dollar figures that were presented to us, being put into a facility that is serving a small percentage of Harlan Countyans that they can truly use on a daily basis. I had presented some other options. The mayor and I talked about that today, and I think we may revisit that later on. Uh,
mm-hmm.
we had some good, what I felt were good, viable options. Those were not necessarily looked at, and maybe in the depth that I wanted them to be, and that's okay. I understand if someone has spent years looking at a plan, putting a plan together, developing a plan, and if somebody comes along and says, "Hey, here's a whole nother," if you've spent your whole life building a Corvette, and I say, "Hey, here's a Mustang," you're like, "Hey, I'm focused on Corvettes here. I don't want to hear about Mustangs," right? I get that. I understand that. If you've focused a lot of time on one particular thing, and someone comes along with a different thought process on that, you might dismiss that initially, and that's okay. That's how this thing works. There are votes, majority rules in that situation. So he had the majority of the votes. The majority of votes were cast to go forward with the project. I actually, and this may catch you off guard. I think it was the next fiscal court meeting, and maybe it was during the same one, and I apologize for not remembering. I think it was the next one. It was the next meeting. So the purchase of the Belk building itself, there was an appraisal, there was a price set. The judge had negotiated with the owners of the building. The price was set at $2 million. I can tell you, and I'm certain that Sean can verify this. You cannot build the building that Belks is for $2 million.
Absolutely not.
You probably couldn't pour the foundation or the
No,
concrete building
no,
for $2 million.
no.
That's a good investment for this county because there's
Absolutely.
things you can do with that building, whether it's jobs, I mean, I could give you I'll say this, and Darby can jump in and he can say no. I told Darby, I said, the best thing you can do with that Belk building after it closed, this is a 30-year-old conversation. I said, put a food court in there. If you want 100% of Harlan County to visit that building, put a food court in there. Everybody will show up to your mall. I mean, that's just facts, right? People will
That's
eat
it.
if they won't do anything else. And that's not my
Obvious
suggestion
fact.
going forward with it.
Well, and I said put an assisted living in there, and then put the food court in the mall,
Perfect. I
and
mean,
allow families to come in and visit their relatives, and then take them out in the mall and eat during the weekend. I mean,
yeah,
it's a win-win. I mean,
there's a million uses for
there
that.
is tremendous amount. Yeah,
I'll say
I don't.
at
I
least
don't think Paul. I don't think people realize how big that building is either. It's 45,000. I think 45,000 plus square feet or something like that.
I think,
It is huge.
and depending on maybe if they're including part of that second floor in the
Yeah,
back,
that upstairs. Yeah, yeah,
might be 52,000. It is
yeah.
big.
50 plus thousand square
Yeah,
foot.
it's a huge space. So I will say there was 2 million reasons for me to vote. I seconded the motion to purchase that building because it was a smart investment for this county. It's a
Oh
smart
yeah,
investment.
absolutely, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I wanted to be very clear. I was not against the investment in the building. I was not against a wellness or rec center. I was against the number of dollars that were going to be put into that building for a rec and wellness center. So the combination is what I was not in love with. The rec and wellness center, I'm fine with. The building purchase, I'm fine with. The money spent to take that building and turn it into a rec and wellness center is where I had the issue. James Howard had the same issue as I did. We talked about it at length. We're looking at possible estimates of, and I mean, these are real world numbers. It cost the Sportsplex in Knott County cost almost $1 million a year to operate.
Yep,
250,000 in Letcher County to operate their rec and wellness center. There's a number that's going to hit closer to Knott County than to Letcher County for that facility out there. I don't feel like we have $850,000-$900,000 per year that we can use for that facility. Again, I'm not against a rec or well. I think there are ways that we can provide that service. I think
but
we can
but
do it
back
without competing
back
against the
back
current.
to what you said, Paul. The building itself, it allows the county to entice something to come in here. You have adequate parking, you have banking, you have restaurants. So with owning the building, having the building demoed, even if you had to progress and change it to another entity,
Right.
you have that building and you have that capability. And man, that's to some outside source that could be rather enticing, I believe.
Well, and even an internal source, like we
Yeah,
talked.
true,
Uh,
true.
I mean, you could look at dividing that building up, that space up. You could put, I mean, hell's bells, man. You could put 30 businesses under that one roof if that's what you.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
I've had conversations again with people from the college. We've got Votech out there. We've got the HVACs. We've got the framing. We've got the welding. We've got that. We need to be looking at what I'm terming it this. I don't know. I'm sure the term's out there. I'm not inventing something, but maybe I am. High tech Votech. When we start
Yeah.
looking at robotics, we start looking at 3D printers. We start looking at some of those skills. I mean,
Yeah, the county school system, I believe, has brought some of that in, and they
yeah.
had a thing a couple weekends ago, and about the robotics and different things like that. So, I think Greg Longworth was involved in some of that stuff, and it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he's a
So,
great dude. I've known Greg, I guess, forever too. His father as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Bought many a Volkswagen part down there in Louisville.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
But
was the Volkswagen king, man.
yeah, he was. But yeah, I mean, we've got to look at that. I mean, we can't just we. I feel like, and I know this is going to be a little off subject from what you're talking about, but not completely. I feel like we are at times as a county, and this is not talking about the school system. This is not any particular entity. I'm not calling any particular entity out. I promise you, I'm not. I think overall, as a whole, I don't want to go too far as say we're failing our youth, but let's just say that we're not providing enough for our youth. And I'm not just talking about a basketball court. That is so far ranging. The ability to learn how to run a business, the ability to write a check, the ability to address an envelope. There are so many things. There's so many. If you look at a solid wall, if you look at a picket fence, I think we're providing a picket fence for our youth. I think we've got some things that we're providing well, but there's so many gaps in between there that need to be filled. And again, a lot of that does come back to dollars. I mean, so where are we going to spend our dollars? What is the best? You'll hear me say this a million times. Ask James Howard, ask anybody. ROI. What's the return on our investment? I love investing. I want to see a return. How can we do that? If we go across this county, one of the big initiatives that I have that is very simple in my mind, what we've done up here, let's go through this entire county and clean it up. The blighted and abandoned houses. And you're saying, well, that costs money, Paul. It absolutely costs money. But we can hire local contractors to go into each community in those districts, take those houses down, so if you've got a house on this side that's nice, you've got a bad house in the middle, and you've got another nice house beside it. So if the two nice houses have a taxable value of $50,000, but the one in the middle has a $5,000 value because it's destroyed. When you remove that $5,000 really bad eyesore house, guess what happens to those houses on either side? That value on those homes go up instantly. You start climbing into 50, 60, 70,000. So it's not raising taxes. I think we can actually lower the taxes with this plan, but you're raising the value of that person's property. There's a big difference in raising taxes or raising value.
Yeah.
You could raise taxes, but you're doing nothing for that person. If you're raising the value of what you're taxing, that's much more fair. So if we go across the county, if we spend every year, my proposal was spending $500,000 a year of coal severance fund, $100,000 per district every year to start cleaning up these properties. So you say, wow, you spent $500,000. I can tell you in no short terms that ROI, the return on that investment, is going to come back with raised values of property.
Well, tenfold.
Every
Tenfold.
And if I've got local contractors that we're getting that $500,000 to, if we're putting it in local contractors' hands, guess what? The people that are working for that contractor, Mead that is servicing their equipment, every single aspect, Southern Wholesale, Kentucky Mine Supply, all that money is being turned and turned and turned inside this county again and again and again. So that $500,000 is actually looking like maybe $4 million, $5 million being turned.
It never leaves the county.
It never leaves the county. It stays right here. So it just keeps multiplying. The value of people's properties. But the biggest thing you're doing is if you have to step out of your house and look at a destroyed piece of property beside you every day, do you really want to paint your house? Do you really want to mow your grass? Do you want to take your property? Hell knows the answer to that. Yeah. What good is it doing to clean up your property if the one beside you is horrible? But if you are able to take that property beside you and it's gone or it's renewed, ideally, we're building a new house on it at some point, man, you're going to mow your grass, you're going to paint your house, you're going to fix your gutter, you're going to do all those things. It's a mowed grass theory. I've seen it work up here in all three cities. If your neighbor mows their grass, what do? You mow your grass.
You want yours to look as good as theirs.
Mows their grass.
All right, Wiz, I'm gonna fly the surrender flag. I got to get off here. I got to get up early in the morning. I'm old.
Well, that's a good place to end it. I think we ended in a good spot. I think we've addressed some issues. I think we were able to.
Let's do it again. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
This will come back because Paul and me have several different parts to break down, and
well, you know me, I got all kinds of hard questions. So
I'm good at questions. Give me all of them. That was about as hard a question as you're going to throw out that the mayor threw out.
I protected you a little bit on that.
I appreciate that, dog. You got me. You got my.
I knew where that was going, man. I knew that's a tough one. I mean, and listen, it honestly all over the county.
I'm mad over it. Like, I've heard a million different people's theories too, and facts and numbers.
There's no definite answer out there, and the people are wondering, and they're not getting any answers on that. And that's tough. I get it, whatever. But you got to answer to your taxpayers at the end of the day because they're feeling like their money's being wasted, and uh, they're throwing their money toward one certain clientele, and that's not that's not good. And it's just like what you said, Paul. I think some of them are being cheated. Feel like they're being cheated because not everybody's going to join that. Not everybody's going to utilize that one thing. So, uh,
How practical is it to drive from Path Fork? I can tell you from Lynch, I can almost give you the exact time. I mean, you're looking at 40 plus minutes to drive from Lynch to utilize the facility.
yeah, yeah,
How practical is that? And let's take practicality out of the way and let's look at something else. If every day you're on a county road, you're on a house on a county road. If every day that you pull out of your driveway to go to work or you come home from work, you go through a pothole. You know what the focus on your mind is? It's not a wellness center. It's not what's going on at the courthouse. It's that damn pothole that you
it's
drive.
that pothole.
We need to
Yeah.
fix the potholes. We can fix all the potholes. We can take care of all these small issues. And before I get off here, I'll just say it. Going back in my memory, Dan, Joe Grisham, Delzina Belcher, Tip Baker, Hugh Hall, whoever was there. We've not had a magistrate sit in the county judge executive seat yet. I
Yeah.
deal with things. James deals with things. Everybody that sits in those chairs, we deal with things every single day. Real world issues, a pothole, an issue with a limb in the road, line of sight issues with grass. You've got to be able to take care of those very, very basic issues. Those problems have to be solved in a very basic way and a quick way. We can fix a pothole in 30 minutes. Why is
Yeah.
it a year and a half? That's insane. We don't need to be doing that. So we focus on those small things. If I can fix the pothole that you run through twice a day and get that off your mind, Sean, then you know what? You'll be willing to talk to me
That's
about
it.
the
That's
next thing
it.
to do. But if
I got a I got a I got a son running for Masters that's out fixing potholes and doing things. I mean, I get it. That's been should have been fixed a
yeah,
year ago. And I
yeah,
mean, I'm sorry. I mean, it just there's a lot to be said for what you just said.
yeah.
Why have we never had a magistrate elected as judge executive? I did not know that. I
Yeah, that's a fact.
Dale Zena.
It's
Nope, Dale
it's
Zeta came in. Everyone came in from an
yeah.
outside.
It's
Yeah.
like my wife says every doctor should be a nurse before they're a doctor.
Amen.
She says that because then your bedside manners, everything is different.
It is.
And the one doctor that we had at Daniel Boone Clinic that was a nurse, he was also a veterinarian. I didn't realize that was Faisal Ahmed.
Yeah. Probably the most
Yeah,
loved.
he's a veterinarian too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a veterinarian. He was an RN, and then he
Yeah.
became a doctor. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The most
sure
loved.
did.
Mom loved him to death. She worked out there for God.
Absolutely. That's why he was such a good and successful doctor. I don't know if he's practicing still, but I mean, he's dead. He's dead. That's right. He's passed. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, but he was a good man. He was a good man. So, but you're
We got
100% right, guys. I'm gonna say good night, and Paul enjoyed it. Crack always. You know that. Sorry for me and Paul
No,
gabbing so much.
I love it. This is one of my most proudest streams. The views might be low now, but believe me, by tomorrow, everybody in Harlan's going to be talking about this.
well.
Uh,
That's
so this is one of my proudest streams and proudest days of doing Crack 40, hanging out with the District 3 Magistrate. And the front runner probably looking like for County Judge Executive right now, Powell Brown. We had a great time. We've got several more things to get into. The August,
These other guys better be contacting you. Is all I can say.
well,
Because it
Mr.
sounds like Paul enjoyed spending the day with you and got to show
Yeah,
you a whole lot in his district.
and
You got to see a lot of positive change up there. I know you did
yeah.
because I've seen it.
he put a lot of knowledge and information in
Absolutely,
it,
he
and
will.
Mr. Couch, Mr. Crider, Mitch. I don't know about Russell Huff, but they've all confirmed. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get hold of Kobe, but dear Kobe, I messaged you, left you you my dog. You know that I've messaged you. I publicly put a post up for you to get a hold of me.
Well, I think the one thing that Paul and myself and Austin and some of the others can vouch for, you're the real deal.
And
And we enjoy you, man. We
Yeah.
enjoy you, and other people enjoy you, and keep it up, man. I mean, you've cleaned it up. You've done a good job, and we enjoy you.
Yeah.
So, and we're proud of you. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, man.
You care. All
Yeah,
it takes to change the world is people that give a damn.
yeah.
That's
I'm,
all it takes to change the entire world. If you care, we can do anything if somebody
that's
cares.
right. That's
If
right.
you care,
ain't no
we
limit.
all you
We're
gotta have.
super proud of you, man. You've come just
I
huge
mean,
strides. So it's
two of
awesome.
Harlan County's most known individuals on the panel right
I
now.
don't know about that. They may know us for the wrong reason, Paul.
And
I've
Oh,
walked many a road, my friend, many a road.
yeah, I've walked a few of them with you.
That's right. We're okay. Still here.
well,
So,
we'll be walking many more together. And
I
the podcast wasn't available today because, well, it'll be here today or tomorrow or next day.
it doesn't matter. This was just as good, man.
This was pre-podcast.
Just as good.
This is what you're going to get on Crack 40
Yeah.
TV Unplugged is more conversations like this. I will be out doing stuff with other magistrates and judge executive candidates. So, John,
Well,
I guess Kim's giving you that wild look like get the hell out.
buddy, Kim's not. It's my dog.
Oh, okay.
She's still on the computer. She's still working, man. So,
I heard that. She's a busy
you
woman.
guys, I'm gone. Good night. Thank you, Paul, again. Crack. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate you
All
guys.
right.
See you all, man.
All right. Good evening.
Well, before you leave, real quick, we will be back in touch. Obviously not, but just wanting to let my people know from TikTok watching on my phone and the computer that we will be doing a 3 or 4 part series about everything in the world, things, the obvious elephant in the room we've not even brought up yet. We've not even brought that up personally, but everything y'all want to know about this man, basically, he's here to tell y'all, and every other candidate has the same opportunity.
So I'll leave with this. Vote early, vote often, vote Browning. And if you can't vote for Paul, don't vote at all. Ha ha!
Bye. It's Crack 40 TV, Powell Browning. Powell, come back if you get bored. If you are set back and watch, I'm going to have District 2 Magistrate candidate, Mark Stewart, Harlan County, Kentucky, Transparency Everts in the comments. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, everyone. I'm going to let Mark up for talk to him for a minute, so you may want to chime back in and hear what he's got to say about, you're just right over the mountain from him, the ATV park and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you'll have a good conversation with him. I'm about to run out of gas, even though I'm at a gas station. This one don't take after hours, so I've got to go find some gas. I'm on 1 bar and it's blinking.
I'll see you. I can't vouch.
My friend.
All right, see you, pal.
Bye-bye.
I vouch this man has been in his car for over 12 hours straight today as he's leaving the stream. And I can vouch for that because he picked me up about 12 hours ago. So shout out to Paul. I told y'all we was going to kick the podcast off. Well, people, my computer is probably here, but people's gone out of town for the All-A tournament. So I'll get it when they get back. Until then, that's what you will get on the podcast. So you got to go to my YouTube and subscribe for it. And get a membership because I will be doing some members only content. Let me finish this cigarette and I'll fix the camera TikTok. I will be doing some members only with Powell. I will be doing some members only with Austin or Mitch or Crider or Couch or Russell Huff or Crider's a good guy. I told every one of them I spoke to convince me if I might come back tomorrow and be amazed by hanging out with Bobby Robert Crider and getting content with him and being like, wait, well, maybe he's the real one. Block that account, mods. I could do it. Just remember that my mods will block you for me. You little trolling some. You're a troll because your daddy don't love you. So stop trolling. Haters out there in the world, bruh. So yeah, I have invited every single candidate. Kobe Gauss is the only one I have not spoke to, and he's your reigning, defending, conquering county deputy, judge, executive, and I want to hear from my boy Kobe. I want all these. I'm live on both platforms, and I want was what on here. Why ain't you? If you was, I'll make you a mod next time I'm live on TikTok or regular stream Shylock. I'll make you a mod. Now I got trolls over on a troll over on TikTok, YouTube. But yeah, I'm that was live on. I used YouTube StreamYard, that way I could save it. And I can make a million different clips out of that. There's a million different segments that could be broke down and made into content. And that's what content creators do. You take a stream and then you break it down. And then that helps my pocket. See right there, I got the word out. That was for y'all. Now I can break these little shorts down and make me $1 off of it. And people watch shorts. You see the views are low. If that conversation was clipped up into segments, 3 minutes or 60 seconds, well, Lord, every one of them have 10, 12,000 views or more. Everybody in Harlan will watch them, and they will. But by tomorrow, everybody will hear about this streamer. They'll be watching it. They'll go back and watch it. And shout out when you do, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free to hit that subscribe button. You can get a membership to donate to my paycheck. You can hit a super chat to make the mayor's paycheck great again. Or you can do the same thing over here on TikTok. Do whatever it does to make whatever makes me money. By God, I'll take it. $Crack40 TV. I've worked hard on a lot of journalistic things, and I have been paid from, I get paid from other sources besides TikTok and YouTube. Unknown sources never will be revealed. But, I get paid a lot. And then again, sometimes I hit a dry spell, but I know that YouTube check's coming every month. I know that there'll be a little bit of money from TikTok, but right now the TikTok money ain't what it was when I first got monetized. But anyway, back to the political game. Yeah, Robert Crider, I'm going to be hooking up with him, Chris Couch, here in the next week. My whole schedule is planned around piping my woman, excuse my language, loving my woman, loving my family, God, obviously first. Other than that, it is streaming and creating content with anybody in the political race or any current news. Chris, I seen you say that. Shout out to Chris. I didn't even know he was in the beer company the day that I said something good about him or made a post or something about him about like, hey, Chris, get in touch with me. Then I reached out to his account, Facebook account for his Chris Couch for Magistrate. Bam, hit me right back. Okay, I go beer company. He's in there eating Officer Charles Bailey and some other people, a couple other cops, and there might have been somebody in there that what there was somebody else in there that looked they wasn't dressed too proper. They looked like they was from the high rise, other but Chris, he come up to me and he shook my hand and talked to me right in the beer company, and we chopped it up and we had a good conversation. And as of now, Jesse is leaning towards Paul. Hey, I don't want none of these other people to get mad at me. I want them to give me a chance. But that's why I am so into this. I can be the one to deny. You might be for Paul tomorrow. You might be for Robert Crowder Monday. You might be for Mitch. And then we've got. I'll wait till May to figure this out, and then November. Gone till November. No, I'll be streaming till November. Yep, about this. Because we got to get youth in this county. Now, is Paul Browning older than Dan? Yeah. Dangerous Dan's my age. Well, I don't know if he's dangerous or not. Dan's, he's we're same age. Paul's older than us, but we got to get youth in this county. There's no way around it. We've got to get young people that can turn around and use social media. Do what Paul said. Fly people from Europe with 2 or 3 cars in here for rally cars. People from New York and everywhere else. Have millionaires in here that brings like a crew, a driver, a co-pilot, co-driver, whatever it's called. Their families, all the fans of rally car racing. I mean, there's so much that could be done. He showed me. We went up to the top of Black Mountain, by God, and we didn't. I posted a few pictures, just quick snips on Facebook, and that was it. A merge of both, pal. A merge of both. We need people that's experienced that can show the youth the world. Just like we need a coach needs an offensive coordinator. Like you're the coach, if you win, you're the coach. And then you've got an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, play caller, defensive line coach. That's what the magistrates are. Basically, I mean, you can break it down so many ways, but you got to have youth to come up. Like, think about it. Could Troy Aikman have played 5 more years? Could, we have Powell is one of the youngest magistrates. Okay, Paul Caldwell is 70-some. Bill Moore, shout out to both of them, over 70. James Hurd, over 70, shout out. Jim Roddy, over 70. Paul Browning, in his 50s, is the youngest magistrate we have. Yes, we do need tourism, and we need a lot of it, but not Gatlinburg. And that's exactly what he told me on Black Mountain today at the alleged highest point in Kentucky. What, like, y'all can't really even put it at the highest point? Come on now. Come on. What up, Tommy and Felicia? Yes, if you put Jesus first, you're exactly right, Shylock. Yeah, and I will be putting in the time, Shylock. I got a lot of people, and I will let them give me. I will take as much of their time as I can, and pick their brains, because The people, if they're so dedicated to win and they don't win, I understand they're gonna go back to the whatever. But if they all five have great ideas and they can combine, and they really care about the position. Well, if they all lose, four of them go lose. Combine, give each other your ideas. Then help it. Like everybody's ideas together would be better than just one's. Maybe you never know. With everybody being so cool so far in the race, then the doctor is Dr. Kimberly Miller at Front Porch Medical. If you need your cannabis card and you qualify for it, you got to qualify and stuff. But if you need it, you can go to Front Porch Medical. She is the only doctor in the area code that is giving out the cannabis card. And believe me, my father, who is watching and gooning, he has multiple sclerosis, MS. Okay. He quit taking all his medicine and he started using cannabis. And I don't mean just smoking it, or he started figuring out different ways to use it. Soap, bath salts, regular salt, sugar, and he has turned into the healthiest version. He's on a walker, and but he is not. Trust me, quitting that medicine and using the cannabis flower all around, the effects of every bit of it has changed his life. It's changed his health. So if you need your cannabis card, you can get it here in Harlan, Kentucky. Front Porch Medical. And that my father is a perfect example. I seen somebody about autism. Paul warmed my heart today about autism. Shout out Mark Whitaker, Teresa, and Travis Whitaker. Rest in peace, Johnny Whitaker. He touched me and my lovely wifey's heart. Johnny did. He was autistic, and he passed away from like the flu or pneumonia at a young age in 2013. Broke my heart. Well, me and pals in Cumberland today and we're posted up right there where the Rite Aid pharmacy is, right? Pal starts breaking down about how that could be an autism building, a building just for autism, and it could be to help develop kids with autism and all kinds of stuff, educate them with like lights and sensors and everything in the world, stuff that I'm uneducated in but know a little bit about. You know what I'm saying, Jay? And someone, if for some reason, if it's not Paul elected, I know Mitch would, or whoever needs to make that place happen. You still have to provide $150. Someone just was on panel. Sorry, come back up if you're wanting to talk politics. Someone was just asked to come up. If they're wanting to talk politics, come up. Autism Mom Melody, I'm glad you come through my chat and reminded me of that. Yeah, Paul warmed my soul from like my neck. I got a good warm feeling up my belly to my neck talking about that. It was a very nice conversation. And night, Jesse. Be good, homie. Paul really warmed my heart on that. And he opened me up to so many different businesses. Raven Rock. Is it Raven Rock Trading? All right, see you tomorrow, homie. Raven Rock. You go in there, and I put a clip of it on my Facebook story, just a little one. You can go up to the top loft and sit and look right down into the creek, and it is beautiful. Or you can look over the store and you can drink a lattes, Raven Rock Trading. Okay, you can get the awesomest. I got a honey butter latte. Oh my god. My nephew Gavin couldn't make that. I recommend to Gavin too, because if you know, you know. My nephew was a monster at Starbucks, so I recommend to Gavin if they ever needed another employee because he can really make some really good coffee. He's a professional. But yeah, Paul showed me that. He showed me what was the other place? I got it right here, Paul. The Book Bazaar. We went in the old theater. People holler, we need a theater. We got one. I was in it today with Paul. The theater. I was in A1 flooring. Shout out Dewey Cole, by the way. And somewhere else. We've got a movie theater. Paul showed I was in it. I was on the stage. And Paul said, go back there to the back and listen. You can hear me talk. And I could hear him find the acoustics. The guy that built it was from like New York, I think. And then he went to Italy or Europe and built theaters. New York, I think. I forget how many different crazy. Brazil. And he built that place in the 30s. And there's a grant that can be got, and I'll get on that because I think I can make a move and get somebody to make a move which Paul can too, obviously. But well, we can get that movie theater up and popping very simple. It won't take much, and I know people that are in the positions that would love to do that. You just have to stay on to them, you know. But anyway, Will, you don't know why it was shut down, the one in Cumberland or the one in Harlan? Because this one is in Cumberland, right downtown. Never, I mean, I'd seen it, but never paid no attention to it. I said, it's over shut down. It's almost ready to roll again. Yeah. Go to Cumberland and explore downtown. There's 2 or 3 different 606 Imperium and another clothing store. The girl from my sister's closet broke off and got one up there. And then you got the greenery store. It's cool looking. They was closed. Paul said that girl could tell you anything you wanted to know about a plant. So I've got a lot of Cumberland exploring to do for content. I want to go back for content for Mayor Walks Up in Cumberland. Hill and holler. Yeah, Hill and holler. And Luigi's. It used to be Hibachi's too. But it used to be an alley. And they bricked it in. And then it turned into, they blocked it up. Next thing you know, it's a restaurant. Next thing you know, it's Luigi's, and that's probably the best and the most organized BLT salad with shredded salad, good shredded bacon. That girl was like, are you sure you might not like the shredded bacon? I said, girl, give me that bacon. All I'm on it. And that shredded bacon was the MVP of the BLT sub, but they got some bomb pizzas in there. My brother even vouched on that, brother. And Riverside Greenery, that's it. Yeah, it's right when you cut down into Cumberland. It's very cool looking from the outside. Paul took me in several buildings that will either be, show me buildings that'll just be tore down for parking. I'll show me some buildings that can be fixed or almost fixed. I got to see a lot of stuff up there today. The back road is something I'd like to hit with Paul from Harlan to Cumberland. But What about the man I tried to help, Morris? Morris. Let me tell you a story about old Morris. Two wonderful gentlemen from here in Harlan County. I said names earlier. I don't know if they want their names said or not. One second, Andrew. But two gentlemen, if you know, I'm sure they don't care if I tell it. They're going to collaborate and they're going to flatten Morris's house and they're going to flatten his land out, get rid of everything. For now, he will not. Somebody said he was in his camper. Somebody said he wasn't. Somebody said he was. But he had the church. Shout out to a preacher, Arnold Hammonds. They was down there and they was helping him box up his carport that you seen when I was live down there. And they got that. They was helping him do that because he wasn't going to have it no other way, even with sub-zero temperatures on the way. And he turned around, and I don't know if he went to the camper or not, but I'm assuming with his sisters coming in, a GoFundMe set up by Donisha Jenkins, and I think it would probably be Emmanuel Baptist. There was so much support and love gave to Morris. Yes, preacher. There was so much love gave to Morris, but you can't help somebody that don't want help. And if he's too stubborn to go in that camper, I didn't get to him today because I was with OG all day. I was with Powell all day. I didn't get to Morris. Powell come got me about 12 hours ago, a little bit over, right at 12 hours ago. Right, and I was with Powell all day. So I do too, but what can you do? I'll try to get back down there tomorrow and convince him and let him know that there's some people wanting to combine to tear his house down and flatten it. Maybe that GoFundMe and some other people can all pitch in and figure out the correct way to donate. And maybe we can all chip in. And even though Drew Bensky, that YouTuber with over 3 million views, roasting Harlan, I ain't going to never care again in his life. He made a video and moved on. Big deal. 3 million views ain't nothing to him. That content was from the spring anyway. But this can show people, and other people can write news articles about, not me, everyone in the county helping Morris, combining. And maybe we can do that again for the next person and the next person. I'm pretty successful at raising money and helping people. Look, rest in peace, Patrick. Old fat boy, spelled with a PH. Raised money for him. Shout out Peggy Bones. Everything I've done, I've always showed receipts for, by God. And maybe, I don't know. All I know is that today was one of the most successful days that I've had in this game. Whether the views are low on TikTok and YouTube, believe me, by tomorrow when I get this clipped up, well, it'll be gone crazy. So until then, it is Crack 40 TV. And Andrew, I lied to you. Sorry, homie. I gotta go to bed. I forgot. My woman's in here waiting on me, so I gotta go, y'all. I'll be back early. Guys, I forgot. I gotta go, Andrew. I'm sorry, nephew. That's my legit nephew. But I gotta go.